So, I mean, I was, only active duty for about, 3.5 years. I did one tour in Afghanistan, and then I was medical again back over here. Basically attached to that in an infantry unit. So, I mean, you do a lot of athletic things.
And
then, reserves for about another 12 years.
So, how was it like? Are you like front lines in Afghanistan, or like?
No, not really. It was more like headquarters and that type of a thing. We did some things because we were, one of the main things we did was that we were setting up at the time it would have been called, forward operating base, and there was nothing there. And so you had to go out there, and there's a lot of security and make sure that you're not going to be ambushed, and basically set up the entire
set up like the base and grounds
right.
and whatnot.
In the beginning, when you have like nothing there, there's no perimeter, and that now it's a really big thing that's been there a long time.
And around what year was that, would you say?
See, it was 2007 or 2008 to 2009, something like that. Right around there.
Okay. And would you be able to tell me a little bit on the difference from growing up then and now?
You mean like when I was a kid, younger?
Yeah, when you were a kid or stuff like that? I'm new to this. I'm not really like, but I try.
I mean, you're sort of, is this like sociology? Or
I mean, I would say it's because I just started a YouTube channel.
Oh, YouTube.
So I do a lot about I do my workouts and like my past experience, and then I also this is barely my second interview. I had did a previous interview, and so I'm just kind of new to this, Yeah. But would you be able to tell me, if you can, a little of the difference of growing up then and maybe what you might see now in the generations? And the newer generations?
I mean, the same thing I would think most people would say. When we were kids, there was almost nothing to do. You go outside, that was all there was. And most of the time, you sit around doing almost nothing.
Right,
play soccer, baseball, or something, play in the traffic, that type of a thing. Where now everybody obviously has computers and they're all hooked up. And there isn't, very many things that people do in person anymore.
I mean, I find it a little sometimes strange because, so I was born in 92.
92.
So I'm born in 92. So I got the taste of still riding skateboards, playing outside, being outside, and then also too I got to experience all the generations of the cell phones, the flip phones and stuff like that. But I do kind of notice with the kids nowadays, there's a lot of kids that are in bad shape. And would you say, well, I mean, I think
they're not as active. They don't get outside.
They're not as active.
They're
not as active. Yeah, they're not as active.
Yeah, I think there's probably something to that.
Okay. And so working out.
Yeah.
So you've been working out mostly many years?
Yeah, it's a lot of time I started out doing a lot of, would say, weight training and that type of thing. And then, because that was always what I did. And you could build up a lot of strength, especially when I was younger. And then when I was going into the Army, I started running more because I knew I was going to have to do that. And then kind of kept doing that. So and still, I've done that here a lot. Then recently I kind of gave it up when there was the pandemic. Basically to coming here and doing different types of calisthenics and less stuff, or maybe with elastic bands and just the small amount of free weights that I have. But mostly it's calisthenics.
So would you say as a younger man, weights, that was your thing?
Yeah, it started off that way. I mean, because I was younger and I didn't have kind of injuries I have now. And then back then, you want to get bigger than everybody else.
Right.
Big, the size of, the Hulk and that type of thing. And that can be a pretty cool thing.
Okay. So now strictly calisthenics?
Yeah, except some free weights. I have like a really nice set of like barbells that just a little bit for shoulders and
Okay,
arms,
okay.
forearms, that type of thing. But
And
mostly, yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
And would you say that diet is a big key in fitness and like the way that not only fitness, mentally as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's also some of there's a lot more processed food nowadays. But yeah, if you eat, right, it's a big thing because you can cover up everything if you're too fat as well, if you're too heavy, and maybe you don't get as much energy. It's hard to move around, and it could affect your self-esteem, and then you don't want to.
Right.
Although eating,
Right.
could also give you energy and maybe feel like you got to work it off, but you
It's
got to spend some money.
it's so weird because like nowadays I notice like and it's like middle of summer and I notice like kids walking around in like sweaters.
Oh,
And it's like, man, are you not hot? And I'm gonna say like I see that a lot in like I guess you in my race.
oh, well,
In my race, like my race tends to be a little bit
because
more,
you might get coming from a hotter climate, and then, right?
yeah,
Yeah, it can be something like
and it's just like sometimes I think, but and not only that, I mean like they're like heavy set.
that. Yeah.
So would you think that that's like insecurities?
Well, I think it could cause that, and it probably affects your self-esteem, and makes you feel bad. And also what more processed food it makes it so it doesn't fill you up as much, and eating.
The
right?
video games maybe
Yeah.
does it, not being so active probably doesn't help. Okay, okay. And would you be able to or probably like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer weights or do you prefer calisthenics?
I do like to do kind of a combination of the two. The only thing, like I said, just use. I like the idea that you can do like a lot of sets, and a pretty high repetition. So you could always add more to it, and you don't run into so much a problem. Well, all right, so I'm benching whatever I'm doing now, and if I have a problem and I'm gonna feel really bad if I come up a rep short, or if I'm gonna have to
Right,
go back
right.
down.
Right.
So it puts you under a lot of pressure.
That like an ego.
Yeah,
Like an ego thing, right? With the weights.
Yeah, but you got to
Right.
be able to deal with that, So I mean, you got to take the ups and downs and understand it. But at the same time, it's nice to have something where you know that you're building strength. But you can't, at my weight, at my age already, you can't get that much bigger. I can't get, injuries are not gonna. It's just pretty much plateaued out. It's probably only mostly downhill from here, but it's not.
The thing is about life, and you just moving. Because I see you come out here.
Yeah.
I see you all the time out here.
Yeah.
And you probably never saw me, but I would like come and drop my son off at the school, and I would always see you, or like around this time I saw you, I would see you. And would you be able to tell me a little bit about, like, let's just say your diet right now at the moment?
Well, let's see. I tend to eat a lot of the same things every day. Like in the morning for breakfast, I'll have like half a bagel that has cream cheese and lox like on there, which is like a Jewish thing.
Okay.
And then the other one, like a couple pieces of turkey and an egg and cheese, and so you're gonna get a lot of protein like that, and carbohydrates and I might a lot of times, because sometimes in the morning is about the worst time when I might have the munchies and have
Right.
a little extra this, a little that, a little here. I try to have like a balanced dinner, which is something nice. It could be like Chinese food or a steak or something like that. Chicken. I like to have a soup or a salad to help keep my appetite from trying to
To keep it.
slows it down. Right?
Okay,
Make it
okay.
take longer, so you have two courses.
Okay.
Right.
All right. That's pretty
A lot
cool.
of vegetables and.
Is there anything that you would do, or what would you recommend the young kids nowadays? Like some advice.
Basically, it's like start off and just do a little bit of something. And in some cases, you might find that your mind or your brain might want to do a little more, or if not, but just keep doing something that you tell yourself you're going to do. And it's kind of like discipline, you know, that you force yourself to do it every single day. And even just a drop in the bucket, you know, can build up over time. Especially, you know, and if you're younger, your body probably is going to respond pretty well. So you stand a pretty good chance of being able to improve if you just keep it up. And you don't have to really bust your balls, you know. But start somewhere.
Start somewhere, right?
And then if you take it too far and it becomes a pain, and then dial it back, but don't go too much. You know, don't quit completely. Try to find some way. Just keep doing it. And if you're doing something that makes you feel stupid, don't do it.
All right. All right. So this is Jeff, guys. Jeff, I really appreciate it, sir.
All right,
Thank
sir.
you so much.